Hey, old lady, why are you still hanging around here at my house? Seriously, it's getting ridiculous. Just hurry up and get out already, you useless old hag. Don't you know when you're not wanted?
Reese, what is it this time? Why are you always bringing this up? When you say hanging around, I'm just living in my own home, you know. I don't understand what you're getting at.
As if this is your house. How absolutely shameless can you be? Let's get something straight. This is my house now, okay? There is no reason for you to be here anymore, so why don't you just get out already? You don't belong here.
I've been living here as well for the past 3 years, Reese. What exactly do you expect to gain by pushing me out? I don't think you've thought this through.
Oh, honestly, are you serious? You're such a pain to live with. You don't even get my food preferences. I mean, how many times have I told you that I hate spicy food, but you keep making it? And don't even get me started on the laundry. You can't even decide whether to wash my clothes together with yours or separately. How clueless can you be? That kind of thing really grosses me out. You're so behind the times.
Well, I'm washing your clothes for you, so a little gratitude would be nice, actually. I don't have to do it, you know. And cooking might not be my strong suit, I admit, but I've been putting in an effort for you, trying to make things work.
So what? If it tastes bad, I'll say it tastes bad, okay? There's no reason for me to lie about it. I mean, honestly, it's not even edible sometimes. Well, not like it matters anyway, because all of that is coming to an end now. You don't have to bother anymore.
Coming to an end? What exactly do you mean by that, Reese?
When I was in high school, yeah, I let you do all the housework and stuff because it was easier that way. But guess what? Now I'm a medical student, all right? I've got a bright future ahead of me, unlike some people I know. As a promising medical student with a lot going for me, I don't need you here anymore. I've outgrown you. I'll just hire a housekeeper who's actually useful and does things right. So, are you going to pack up and get out now, or do I have to throw you out?
Isn't that going a bit too far? I'm still a part of this household, you know. You're really planning to kick me out just to hire a housekeeper? That is just absurd, Reese. Who exactly is going to pay that housekeeper? You're busy with your studies and you don't even have a part-time job. So how do you intend to afford a housekeeper? I'd really like to know your plan for that.
Huh? As if I would be paying for it myself. Do you even know me? Dad will cover it with future earnings or something, so I'll be fine. I'll have him pay for everything.
With future earnings? Oh, that is just ridiculous. That's not how things work in the real world, Reese. John doesn't have the funds to cover that, you know, unfortunately. It would be nice if he did, but that's not our reality. It would probably be better for both of us if you stopped thinking up ideas like pushing me out, don't you think? There's really no reason for it.
Are you trying to say you're underestimating Dad's capabilities or something? Do you actually think he can't do it? Have some faith in him.
No, that's not it, Reese. You're misunderstanding me. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I know that you're John's stepchild, and I understand that you don't feel warmly toward me. I get it. But I still want to offer some guidance so you don't make mistakes. I don't want you to regret anything later.
Wow, that attitude of yours is so high and mighty. It's giving me chills. It's like you think you're better than me or something. Honestly, I don't care at all. You're not family to me, and that's the truth. And you're just a housekeeper who's underestimating Dad, by the way. Just get out already. Do you even know how much my tuition costs? It's $300,000, all right? That's a lot of money.
Yes, Reese, I'm fully aware of the amount. I know exactly what it costs.
And Dad's already covered all of it, you know. So that just goes to show that he obviously has enough to take care of me and all my needs. Honestly, you probably married him just for his money, didn't you? That's why you're here, isn't it? Don't you think it's time you set him free? You've had a good run. Honestly, seeing you around the house just annoys me to no end. Just looking at you is irritating.
Do you really think John was the one who paid that? You believe he covered it all? I understand why you'd think that, but that's not exactly how it went.
Whatever, just get out by the end of the weekend, all right? I don't care how you feel about it. If I come back and your stuff's still here, I'll throw it all out without hesitation. You've been warned.
I'm not going to let you just do as you please, Reese. I have rights here too. Reese, why don't we have a proper discussion with your father? I think he needs to hear about this.
Do you think I have time to chat with some housekeeper? Do you really think that? I'm an elite medical student, all right? I don't have time for you or your silly arguments. It's just a waste of my energy.
A housekeeper? That's all I am to you now? You really don't have a shred of respect for me, do you? Fine, if that's how it is, I'll speak to John about this. I understand now. I'll handle it.
Just get out already, you useless old hag. You're such a burden. You don't belong here anymore.
I'll be in touch. We're not done here. John, about Reese's tuition, haven't you talked to her yet? I told you to make sure to find the time to sit down with her and discuss it properly. I understand that it's hard to find the right timing, and maybe it seemed like the moment just never came up, but I really thought you had already explained it to her by now.
Reese's tuition? What exactly do you mean?
What do you mean, what? I'm talking about the fact that I'm the one who covered her tuition payments. You were going through a lot at the time, and I stepped in to take care of it, didn't I? I thought it was the right thing to do because, after all, we're family.
Oh, right. That. Yes, of course. I'm thankful to you for that. I mean it. I really appreciate that you handled it.
No, it's not about whether you're thankful or not. What I'm saying is Reese doesn't seem to know anything about it. She has no idea that I was the one paying her tuition. You didn't tell her, did you? This completely changes things, John.
Does it really matter that much? I mean, who paid or didn't pay? Is it really so important?
John? What? I don't understand what you're getting at.
Well, think about it. You and I are married now, right? Since we're a married couple, is it really that essential to make a big deal about who specifically paid for what? We're a family, aren't we? Whether you paid or I did, doesn't it just amount to the same thing?
Sorry, John, but I don't get your logic at all. Look, I know that Reese and I don't have the closest relationship, but wasn't the entire point of this situation to build some level of trust between us? I thought helping with her tuition would make her see that I care about her and her future. Instead, with things going this way, I feel like she's completely ready to kick me out of the house.
Kicking you out? Where did that come from?
Reese has been openly telling me to leave. She's been quite insistent about it. Can't you please say something to her? I think hearing it from you would make a difference.
Really? That sounds just like Reese. She has always been a bit outspoken, hasn't she?
John, this isn't a laughing matter for me at all. Honestly, it feels like you don't understand the impact this is having on me.
I understand my daughter, truly. The fact that she's acting out with you, saying such bold things. I think it's because she actually trusts you in her own way. I know it seems harsh, but maybe it's her way of trying to be close to you.
I really don't think that's what's happening here, John.
Trust me, everything will be fine. You just need to have a little faith in Reese. She's just being herself and she'll come around. She's always been like this.
John, it's not as simple as just trusting her or not. How about this? Let's set aside some time next week. Let's make sure the three of us can sit down and actually have a proper discussion about this.
Don't bother coming back here anymore. Actually, it's not even coming back. Just don't even try to enter. You don't have a place in this house anymore.
We're having this conversation again? Didn't I tell you we'd discuss everything with John next week? He'll be back from his business trip and we'll talk things over then together.
That's why I figured I'd settle it all before that.
Settle it?
I already changed the locks on the house, so you won't be able to get in anyway.
What? You changed the locks? What are you talking about? Why would you do something like that?
To keep you, a stranger, out of this house, of course. You still don't get it? A stepmother like you was never needed in the first place.
But to go as far as changing the locks?
That's how unnecessary you are. You're just a stranger. You're no parent. I've changed the locks, so don't ever come back to this house.
Then I'll stop paying your tuition.
Liar. Dad's the one paying.
Fine. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of going back and forth with you like this, so let's just end it. All right, I won't come back to that house. And I'll cut all ties with you and become a stranger, just like you want. Are you happy with that?
We were strangers from the beginning anyway.
True enough. All right, let's go back to being strangers. I don't get along with you, and I don't think of you as family anymore. I'll also be expecting your repayment for the tuition. You're going to regret this, but that's not my concern anymore.
Saying whatever nonsense you want. I don't need you. I never did. And it's not just me. Dad didn't need you from the beginning either. You're just a gold-digging leech who latched onto him. You probably thought you could milk even more out of us once I became a doctor, but it's not going to work that way.
Sure. All right, whatever. Say whatever you want. Then I guess this is goodbye. I'll have a moving company pick up my things, so don't go throwing them out. Goodbye, Reese.
I don't want to hear anything more from you. I'm done with all this. I don't need to keep talking to you.
Then it's settled. I'm not going to change my mind, and you should be happy with the way things are. It was always going to end up like this.
I don't care. It was only a matter of time. You've never been a part of this family. You've always been an outsider.
You think you've won? You'll see what happens when all this blows up in your face. I'm leaving for good, but don't expect any help in the future. Don't come running to me when you realize you've made a mistake.
I'll be just fine without you. You've always tried to control everything, and now you've gone too far.
You're not going to get away with thinking you can do whatever you want. There are consequences, Reese. Don't be surprised when they come back to bite you.
I'm done with your threats. I'm not afraid of you anymore.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts, won't we?
I've already moved on from this. You should do the same and get out of my life. Pick up the phone. You need to pick up the phone right now. Dad's angry. Seriously, why aren't you answering?
Why do you think I'd want to talk to you? If you're calling because you're bored or something, then forget it. I've got better things to do than deal with you.
Oh, I see. So you think you're too busy to help out when I need something? You're just sitting there doing nothing, right? Why won't you help? Just pick up the phone already. Don't you care about what's going on?
Seriously? You're still this arrogant, huh? Even after everything that's happened. You still think you can talk to me like you did when things were normal? I am honestly shocked. You need to get over yourself. I don't know why you act like this, but you really need to understand that no one will put up with it in the real world when you get out there. People won't just give in to your attitude, and you'll be in trouble if you don't start learning some manners.
Oh, please, whatever. You're always like this. You're always acting like you've got better things to do. But this time, I need your help. You need to help me out right now. I don't care what you think. Just pick up.
You need help, huh? Well, I don't think I'm going to give you the time of day. I have no reason to deal with you anymore.
Wait, what do you mean you won't? Don't you understand that I need you to help? I don't have anyone else to turn to right now. I need you to do something, anything. Just pick up the phone, please. It's urgent.
Well, I don't know why you'd think I'd help. It's not like we have a relationship anymore, and to be honest, I'm not interested in hearing what you have to say. I've got my own life to live. I don't owe you anything.
You're unbelievable. Seriously, you're acting like this after everything? After what I've been going through? I don't care what you say. You're still my family, right? And right now, Dad is furious, and I need to figure out what's going on. So just pick up, please.
Oh, so you're acting like you actually need me? When was the last time you cared about me? You never had time for me before, and now all of a sudden you're calling me for help? You can't just treat people however you want and then expect them to be there when you need them.
Ugh, I can't believe you're saying this. You are so frustrating. Why are you always like this? What happened to you? You used to care, but now you're treating me like I'm a complete stranger. How did it come to this?
It's because you've treated me like a stranger for a long time. I'm just returning the favor. You've never once shown me any respect, and you've acted like everything's been my fault. I am done trying to please you. If you want to talk, you'll have to face the reality that things have changed.
You know what? Fine. If that's how you want to be, then go ahead. Just know that I still need your help, whether you want to admit it or not. But I guess I shouldn't expect you to understand that, right?
I understand perfectly. You think you can just come to me with all these problems when things go wrong and expect me to bail you out. But that's not how it works. I am not here to fix everything you mess up.
You know what? Forget it. But at least you should know I'm trying to help you out with something important. You really should listen when I'm telling you that Dad's angry. Do you even care what's happening?
Care? You think I should care? Why should I? Your father's done more than enough damage, and frankly, I don't see any reason to be involved in this mess. You two have created this situation, not me. I'm not going to keep cleaning up after your mistakes.
It's not just that. It's about the money. It's about everything, and you know it. You're the one who kept saying you wanted to be there for me, and now you're acting like I'm the enemy.
Oh, now we're talking about money? Well, if you're so concerned about that, you should be the one worrying about it. You want my help, huh? Then let's talk about your little tuition fee. You've got the nerve to call me about that?
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the $300,000 that I paid for your education. You think you can just ignore that and not pay me back?
What? You're joking, right? You didn't actually pay for my tuition, did you?
Why would I be joking about this? I paid for it. All of it, every last cent. I paid for your schooling because you couldn't afford it. Your dad couldn't afford it either, and honestly, he didn't even try to help. I was the one who stepped in, hoping it would help you out and bring us together as a family. But now you act like none of it matters. Why is that?
Wait, hold on. Dad didn't pay for it? I thought he did. What do you mean by all of this?
Of course he didn't pay for it. He could barely afford his own bills, let alone pay for your schooling. I was the one who made it happen because I thought it was the right thing to do. But now that you've moved on from me, you want to forget that I've been there for you all along?
What are you even talking about? I didn't know any of this. So wait, Dad didn't say anything about it?
No, he didn't, and now you're finding out the hard way. All those years of ignoring me, and now you finally realize I was the one who kept everything together. It's funny how you never saw it that way.
But why didn't you tell me? Why did you keep this from me?
Because frankly, you didn't deserve to know. You were too busy running around your own selfish needs, not caring about anyone else. I thought maybe if I helped, things would turn around, but I was wrong. I was naive.
This is crazy. I didn't know any of this. Dad told me he could afford it, and I always thought he was the one who helped me.
It's clear you didn't know anything, and that's exactly what I mean. You've never taken the time to understand anything beyond your own needs. That's why I'm done.
So what, you're just going to cut me off like this?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm cutting all ties. You'll have to deal with your father's mess by yourself. I've done enough.
Wait, no, you can't just leave me to deal with all of this alone. I can't believe this is happening.
Believe it. You'll have to handle all of this yourself. I'm not going to bail you out anymore. You'll have to figure it out just like your father. I'm done playing the role of the fixer.
But what about everything else? What about my tuition? You're just going to let it go?
You need to understand that I'm not going to support you forever. You need to stand on your own 2 feet. You owe me money now. Don't think I'm just going to forget that.
This isn't fair. Why didn't you ever tell me any of this before? Why wait until now to drop this bomb?
Because I'm done. This is the end. You'll have to pay me back somehow, and I'll make sure John does too. There is no way out of this for you.
How am I supposed to pay all of this back? I can't do this on my own.
You don't have a choice. If you want to continue your education, you'll have to find a way to pay for it. You can't expect me to keep helping you.
This is all too much. How did everything go so wrong?
It went wrong because you never took responsibility. You always thought someone else would step in and fix things. Well, now you know. No one's going to bail you out anymore.
You're right. I should have done better. But please don't leave me like this.
It's too late for that. You've got to face the music now. It's over. And as for John, he's not going to be able to help you either, so good luck with everything.
Why haven't you been picking up the phone after I've been calling you this whole time? I heard from Reese. What he did was truly the worst, but to cut ties with me so suddenly, are you out of your mind? Aren't we supposed to be a couple, supporting each other, helping each other through difficult times? What happened to that? I thought that was what marriage was about, but now you're acting like I'm some kind of stranger to you. You can't just throw everything away like this. This is not how things were supposed to go.
Huh? What are you talking about? You still don't understand? You don't realize that you created this situation yourself. All of this is because of your own actions. You're the one who's responsible for all of this chaos, so stop pretending like this is all happening to you out of nowhere. I am done trying to explain things to you, but you really don't seem to get it.
Why would you say something like that? Are you seriously blaming me for all of this? You can't possibly be saying that it's all my fault, can you? If you hadn't been hiding things from Reese in the first place, none of this would have happened. If you had just been honest with him, things wouldn't have gone this far. You wouldn't have lost everything, and I wouldn't have had to take responsibility for things that weren't mine to begin with.
I forgave you for your business failure, your debts, and even your affair. I let it all slide because I thought we were family, that we were in this together. I thought we could get through this as a team, but you just keep making things worse, John. I supported you through all of that, and now look where we are. You still don't get it, do you? You can't just ignore the consequences of your actions. You have to face them now.
Affair? What are you talking about? You don't mean that.
Don't worry, I never told Reese about that. I couldn't bring myself to do that to her. It would have been too cruel for her to know that her own father was such a scumbag. Can you imagine how that would have affected him? She would have been devastated. She doesn't deserve that. It's bad enough that she's going to have to deal with the fact that you can't even afford to pay her tuition. She won't be able to continue college, and she's going to have to work part-time just to survive. Meanwhile, she's going to be stuck trying to support a useless father like you.
Hold on, I didn't have an affair. Why are you bringing that up now?
Yeah, well, we're not at the point where we're going to discuss that anymore. The time for those kinds of talks is over. I've already left everything else to the lawyer. Now you need to focus on yourself and, most importantly, on your daughter. I am done wasting any more of my time on you. I've given enough, and I am not going to continue to involve myself in your problems. You should really start thinking about your daughter and stop acting like this is all just someone else's fault. She's the one who's going to suffer from all of this, so maybe you should consider that. You should try being a father for once. You have failed in so many ways, but there is still time to make things right. Well then, John, goodbye. I'm finished here. I'm not going to deal with this any longer. From now on, you need to handle things with the lawyer. It's your mess, so clean it up. I'm done.
I've decided to drop out of college. After thinking it through, I realized that by doing so, I'll be able to get a refund for the tuition I already paid. I'm going to use that money to pay back what I owe you. It seems like the right thing to do, given the situation.
Honestly, I didn't think you'd contact me again, but it's clear now that this was something that needed to be said. I get it. All right, I understand. From this point on, you can leave everything to the lawyer. I trust they'll take care of things from here on out.
I contacted you directly because I've just been feeling awful. I wanted to apologize, Becca. I know this probably isn't what you were expecting to hear, but I felt it was important to say that to you in person.
Apologize? You're apologizing now?
Yes. After talking to the lawyer and my dad, I learned that everything you said about what happened is true. I was completely wrong, and I failed to understand everything you were trying to tell me. I'm sorry for not listening, for not understanding. I was too blind to see it. I truly regret my actions, and I want to make it right, even if it's too late now.
You don't need to apologize anymore, Reese. It's not going to change anything at this point. But I do have to say, I'm glad that you've matured enough to apologize. It shows that you've grown, and that's something I can appreciate.
I know it doesn't change anything, but I truly didn't realize everything you did for me until things got this far. I was too focused on myself to understand the sacrifices you were making for me. I'm sorry, Becca. I know it's too late, but I want you to know that I'll do my best to move forward and take responsibility. I'll try harder, not just for myself, but for Dad as well. I'll make things right.
I understand, Reese. I know you're still young and you have plenty of time ahead of you. You'll figure things out, even if it feels tough right now. Take the situation as a lesson and use it to guide your future. College may not have worked out, but I really hope you'll find something you truly want to do, something you can be passionate about.
Wait, you knew about everything? You knew all along?
Yes, I knew. I may not have shown it, but I've seen the effort you've been putting in, especially with your studies, like working toward becoming a hairdresser. I'm proud of you for sticking with it. You've shown me that you can learn and that you can grow. That's something I've always hoped for, and I'm glad you're finding your way.
I never thought I'd hear you say that. Thank you, Becca. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I won't forget it.
Well, I guess this is goodbye. We probably won't see each other again, but I wish you the best of luck, Reese. Take care of yourself, and don't forget to keep growing. That's all I want for you. Be well. After that, I never saw the two of them again, but the money I had lent them was fully repaid several years later. At first, I wasn't sure if they would ever make good on their promise to pay me back. There were so many uncertainties, and I couldn't help but feel frustrated. But life has a strange way of unfolding. Time passed, and I didn't hear from them for a long while. During that time, I kept thinking about everything that had happened, about the decisions I had made, and about the people involved. At some point, I even wondered if I would ever get the money back. After all, so many things had gone wrong. There was no guarantee of anything. But eventually, the unexpected happened. The money came back slowly but surely. I was surprised at how things turned out, after everything that had happened, after everything I had been through with John and Reese. I had no idea what to expect, but they proved me wrong. I suppose that's one of the lessons life teaches us sometimes. Things don't always go the way we think, and people aren't always who we expect them to be. Even after everything, John and Reese managed to pay me back. I don't know exactly what happened during the years we didn't speak, but whatever it was, it seemed like they had made some kind of change. John in particular seemed to have changed in a way I hadn't anticipated. I know that Reese played a role in making him see things differently. He wasn't the same person I had known before, and it was clear that Reese had become someone who could make him reflect on his past mistakes. I have to admit, I didn't expect that. In fact, I thought they might drift further apart as time passed. But somehow, against all odds, they had managed to find their way back to each other. I believe that over time they both realized how much they needed to grow, both individually and together. They were no longer the same people who had made all those mistakes, and while I can't claim to fully understand everything they went through, I have to acknowledge that something had changed. There was a sense of maturity that had taken root in them. Maybe it was Reese's influence, or maybe it was simply the passage of time. I couldn't tell you for sure. But it was clear to me that John had become a more responsible person. The way he approached everything seemed different. I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride knowing that somehow, despite all the mistakes they had made, they were trying to build something better together. John and Reese were no longer just two people lost in their own problems. They had become a team. They had learned from their mistakes, and now it seemed like they were genuinely trying to work things out and make something of their lives. I don't know what the future holds for them, but I can say that I am hopeful for their future. I don't expect everything to be perfect, but they've come a long way from where they started. So while I may have had my doubts back then, I can confidently say now that I believe they are doing their best. They've worked hard and they've learned from their experiences. I hope they continue to grow and make good choices. The road they've walked hasn't been easy, but I'm glad to see they've made it this far.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.